Welcome to Geeks Corner. I'm Mr. DAPS.
I'm Caitie.
And tonight we have the major pleasure. I was trying to think of a really big word, but I don't have one.
The phantasmagorical.
There we go. The
Ooh.
phantasmagorical pleasure that I can't even say of having Doug Marsh, good friend, Fantasmic expert, and all-around good guy.
Here
and
he is.
Disney historian.
Well, thank you, Carol Merrill.
You're so
Back on the set with us. It's been like 2 years, I think.
I think it's been 2 years for everything for everybody.
It's true.
You
True.
get down to-
It's true.
I did join you remotely at some
Yes.
point
Yes.
for one of
but
those.
this is
That was
different.
very early
this
on.
is this is
This
here.
is more fun.
We're here breathing each other's air and
Yes.
germs.
There you
But
go.
I'm vaccinated
We all are.
and,
Yeah.
boosted.
Same.
Yes.
There we
We're
go.
all very sick.
Multiple boosts because they
Mhm.
keep telling us to. I don't know. But we are going to be talking about Fantasmic tonight. We're also going to hit a few other things before we get to that. So if you have any questions about back in the day for Fantasmic, make sure to throw them in the chat. We will circle back and get to those at some point. We also have a surprise for the end of the show at Geeks Corner Plus. I'm sure we will be going well into that tonight. We will see how that goes. I don't know if Doug knows about Geeks Corner Plus now that I think about this.
I don't know about the surprise,
You will.
You-
It'll
Okay.
be fun.
Don't
and
you
that's
worry.
why it's a surprise.
And you're
That's-
part of it. So
You're part of it. You
Ooh.
get to be a participant, hopefully willingly.
we'll see.
So we learned this last week that the Red Car Trolley is finally making its return.
Ding ding ding.
And can I just say I
ding.
am ridiculously happy about this because the park does not, it's almost like it doesn't have a heartbeat without the Red Car Trolley.
Mhm.
It's missing. Caitie wants to say her word.
You guys already know I'm about to say kinetic energy. Kinetic energy. DCA thrives off kinetic energy. And if we can't have the wave machine of DCA 1.0, I'll settle for a Red Car Trolley.
Do you mean wave machine or the wave
The-
fountain?
The wave fountain.
Okay,
not
'cause
the
there was
wave-
also a wave machine
at
in
California
Paradise
Screamin'.
Here, yes.
Yeah, there's the one over there and then the,
The one.
What now? What?
aren't
Is
you
this a
talking about the
surprise?
one underneath?
No,
Oh,
the
no,
one
the one
under-
underneath. Yes, the
Yeah.
one
The
underneath.
The one under
that-
Screamin'.
Yeah.
that kept the pier bobbing
and got
weaving
people
everything.
wet.
Which,
right?
funny enough, and we had this discussion the other day. Somebody apparently called another person with the podcast, and they said, "I remember there being sea lions at DCA
yes.
1.0," and we said, "Where would there have been sea lions? There was a wave machine." They
I know
couldn't-
where they could have had sea lions, but they didn't. That would be no. It would be a perfect location for them in the tidal flats next to the cannery.
Oh, on the other side.
Which, but the thing is, that water level rises and lowers
Mhm.
depending
So they
upon
wouldn't
how
have been
much
able
they're
to-
using for. But
Yeah.
actually, there could be sea lions down there barking, and they should have put a couple of animatronic ones in there. That's what they should have done.
That would
They
have been
should
fun.
have.
I actually love that idea.
Now, I'm sure you two have noticed that the two red cars are different designs.
Yes.
And you know why.
I was not aware of this.
Yes, next time you're there, look, they are two different designs, and that is because Los Angeles had two street railways.
Mhm.
They were
I don't remember.
the Pacific Electric, everybody knows that, and the Los Angeles Railway Company. And they actually had yellow cars, but one design is based on the Pacific Electric, and the other is based on,
So is
The
the red
LA
and
red.
yellow one, or yet red and I guess it's kind of yellowish.
it has a little yellow in it.
Is that not an accurate paint job then? Is that more of an inspiration?
It's an inspiration.
I've
because
only seen black and white photos of the
taken
original.
they,
Creative
they also
liberty.
call them the Red Car Trolleys because they didn't want to use Pacific Electric.
Sure.
But the other ones they were the yellow cars and there were the red cars.
Okay.
And I had the extreme pleasure of riding with Bob Gurr
Oh, that's
on
cool.
one of them, and he looks around and he says, "By gum, this is just like the ones I used to ride in when I was going to school back in the day."
Oh, how
Oh
cool.
my
And
gosh.
that green color inside, it
Mm-hmm.
absolutely took him back. So they did a great job on those.
And if you go to the Southern California Railway Museum in Paris, you can see an original Red Car Trolley. We saw it.
That is true. That is very true. So we're all excited about the return of the Red Car Trolley. The one thing I really hope returns with it is that goodnight moment where the characters ride it out from Carthay Circle, because there's just something very magical about seeing Mickey and Minnie waving from the red car as they make their way out for the night. And you really just have to time that one right. Like it's pretty much right as the park closes, if it happens. We don't even know exactly when they're returning, just sometime this summer.
Summer.
And here's my question. What's your definition of summer
Summer,
in terms of Disney?
Anywhere
Oh,
from
'Cause
May
you
to
can't
August.
you can't say the actual date summer begins. It's like, when would you consider, is it like
May to early August specifically though, because Halloween does start
Memorial Day
mid-August
to
now.
Labor Day?
it always used to be Memorial Day because that's when they started the fireworks.
Back
And
in the day.
Oh yeah, and I had friends that we would gather on Main Street, and to us, summer officially began when Disneyland started the fireworks.
I think that's fair.
Mhm.
That makes a great. Yeah, I think that's totally it. Mid-June to mid-August, I see.
And that is a teacher speaking. When you see mid-June to mid-August,
that's very fair.
after grad nights are over.
That is way too short. All right.
agree.
Well, we're moving right along because we want to get to Fantasmic, but we got a trailer for She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, which surprised me a little bit. But we got our first look at She-Hulk and what is going to be coming in August, which I think will still count as summer. What did you both think of the trailer, ladies first?
It feels a little girl power. Yes, queen, you can do it all. Like that media
Don't break
feminism.
Doug.
Like
now I have nothing to say.
also the CGI doesn't look great. I think it's gonna be a fun
couple months.
I
Maybe
think it's gonna be a fun watch. So maybe we'll get the Sonic treatment. Remember how they released the trailers for Sonic and everyone said, "Hey, Sonic looks bad," and then they redid Sonic.
Yeah.
And then they postponed the movie to redo Sonic.
I don't think you're going to postpone it.
Well, no. But I'm saying, do you remember how that happened?
Yes, I remember.
Yeah. Who's to say?
I think people still talk about it.
They do. But I think it'll be a fun watch. I don't know how much I'll love every second of it, but I think it'll be fun.
What do you think, Doug?
I think that one rang the bell. I think we could.
Where is my bell?
One thing I couldn't. The first time that she like jumps into frame, my immediate thought was, is it a cricket, a grasshopper, or those green
That
beans?
is true. Yeah.
What are they? And then as I'm watching it and seeing her, I'm thinking, I know one problem they have, and that is I think they're trying very hard to avoid the fact that within pop culture right now, there are two really, really major green girls or green women. Think about the Shrek franchise and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Gamora popped in the head right away.
It was kind of like, okay, she's going to be green, but she can't be
the same as everything else.
And yet at the same time, every now and then I'd catch little hints of the Shrek girl, and then we're not allowed to mention that because it's like another studio fiction. Eventually Disney will own it, so
That's
we'll
true.
be fine.
Geeks Corner was originally made so that we could talk about stuff beyond Disney.
And then Disney just kept
and then
pulling
Disney
it
kept
all
buying
in.
it anyway.
Literally was for Marvel and Star Wars, and then they bought them. But
But I will say this: I'm excited for it because my son is a very big Marvel fan.
Okay.
And my son has, for ages, kept me tipped off on things. He still gives me a hard time over the fact that he kept talking about Guardians of the Galaxy, and I kept going, And one day, I came home and said, the most amazing trailer just dropped on YouTube, Guardians of the Galaxy. And he said, yeah, right. So anyway, he's excited about She-Hulk. So I'm excited because he's excited about it because I trust his level of excitement.
Okay. I will say, and I would like to plug very quickly, we just said Guardians of the Galaxy. If you go to geekscorner.live, there is currently a blog post
yes,
where we talked about things from the years that we graduated high school.
You know what? We're going to do this for Doug after the show.
Yes, we will. We talked about what movies were popular, what music was popular, food, whatever. And my graduating year was Guardians of the Galaxy because I actually saw that movie the first week I started at Starbucks, which was in August of 2014. And I graduated from high school in June of 2014. So
there you go. And Clocky is making a good point that it's also like the Wicked She-Hulk. And I didn't think of that as we were watching it, but now that you've said this, I may not see anything else.
She-Hulk, why couldn't you stay calm for once instead of flying off the handle?
Maybe this is where the Marvel musical will come from. They could even put it in the Hyperion Theater because it's right there next to Avengers Campus.
Next to Avengers Campus.
Everybody wins.
We know there's at least one good song for it.
That is very true. So how many thumbs do we think? 2 thumbs up for this show?
1.5.
I'm gonna do 1 and is it sideways for 1.5?
Yeah,
okay.
1.5.
Yeah. If they fix the CGI, I think it'll get 2 thumbs up. But there's very few things that drive me more crazy in a show or movie than CGI that's not completely solid.
Green Lantern. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Well,
Another green.
Well, and
there you go.
Just to tease this blog post a little bit more, the year I graduated, the first prequel Star Wars came out, and I remember seeing it in the theaters and thinking, I feel like my hand could just go through that character or that hill. Or
You mean the CG wasn't amazing in
No.
Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga prequel?
See, after I had graduated from high school, we were all complaining about the jittery landscape on Vulcan in the Star Trek movie. So that kind of tells you where we're going to be going with this. Yes, it'll be history night.
This is going to be fun
for my high school graduation.
All right. We also learned this week that the next Pixar film after Lightyear will be a movie called Elemental, and it will be what happens when different elements collide. Mainly
Avatar: The Last
fire
Airbender.
and water looks like to be the principal characters. We've seen concept art. We've got a brief description. We know that is it Pete Sohn? Is that his name?
Yes.
The director has made this story off of inspiration from when he was a kid in New York and all the different people in his neighborhood. And I'm curious if they'll work into the score somewhere. Maybe Michael Giacchino, if he's writing the score, if he works a little bit of Who Are the People in Your Neighborhood from Sesame Street. Like, I would give him extra points for that. But what do we think about Elemental from the very little we've seen in the concept art?
Kind of reminds me of Inside Out. Kind of reminds me of Zootopia. It just kind of gives those, and all we have is a very brief description, like talking 2 sentences, and concept art.
And the idea of, fire and water don't mix.
Yes.
He's fire, she's water.
It's a gimmick.
And then who's going to be wind and who's going to be earth?
I went there too, actually. Yeah.
I mean, it's a pig pen. And
then who's the captain?
I don't know. It's I do have the title for
Captain
your
Planet?
sequel, Elemental Enchanted. So there you go. That's your sequel title.
That's good.
There you go.
That's very good.
But no, I will say this. I trust Pixar.
I do too.
Yeah.
Because do you remember when someone said to you, yeah, it's about a robot rolling around on a barren, deserted earth that sort of becomes sentient? And you said, oh, yeah. Oh, it's about an old man who ties balloons to his house and floats away. And you said,
nice.
So when I hear it's a town where the 4 elements constitute the people who live in the town, and a guy who is, a flamer and a woman who is all wet get together, then I guess steam, whatever is going to happen. But I trust Pixar.
I do too.
Do you think it will be released on Disney Plus or in the theater?
Yes.
Me too.
That was good.
And then the follow-up to that is where should it go?
Theaters.
I think it should go to theaters.
Pixar
I
should
think
always be
all
in the
Pixar
theater.
films should be in the theater.
Movies should start in the theaters.
Always.
Then go to streaming, then go to broadcast,
Yep.
and then be implanted in chips in our subconscious there.
Well, yeah.
And then we can quote all the lines. It's great.
Right.
Yeah, very good. All right. Well, let's move on to the main story of the night. And that is that 30 years ago Sunday, if I'm correct.
Oh, no, Friday.
We'll talk about that too. But Mickey was waving his arms and shooting fire out of his fingers and defeating a dragon. And people's minds were blown.
Yeah.
And before we get into all of Fantasmic, I want to hear your first memory from the first time you saw the show, or an early memory of the first time you saw one of the first times you saw the show. And to give Caitie time, I'll go first.
No, I know the first time I saw it.
And I saw it actually with my grandparents, and I can remember my grandpa just lighting up. And in fact, you probably knew him, Doug. And he was lighting up as Peter Pan went by. No, not that way. His imagination was sparked when Peter Pan went by, because he loved Peter Pan.
In the pirate ship.
Mm-hmm. And seeing him soar through the
rigging.
The rigging, thank you. You could just see how the story came to life for him. And to me, that's one of the things that Disney does the best, is they bring these stories and things come to life. And that's really what Fantasmic's all about. Caitie, I bought you a couple seconds to either pull yourself together or think about it.
It's embarrassing how late I saw it.
When did you see it?
I saw it for the first time like my sophomore year of high school, I think. I was
what, 2017?
So I think it was 2012.
And I was going to ask what movie came out that year.
But I was dating somebody who loved Fantasmic to the point that they would recreate it like digitally.
Oh,
And for our anniversary, I believe, I got him like special seating to see Fantasmic, and that was the first time I saw Fantasmic.
that's a good way to see it for the first time, though.
Were you up on the balcony of the gallery, or were you down in the seating area along the river?
We were in actually cast seating,
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Cool.
so that was the first time I ever saw
So
Fan.
probably Tower B.
Yes, we were in Tower B.
There you go. Very
Yes.
cool.
Okay.
All right.
So-
Doug.
Well, I am, because I am just that old. The first time I saw it was the first night that it was ever presented to the public, and
Which
was May 15th, 1992. Now, I know that there's been all this hoopla over May 13th, and if you go to all the
Wait, do
official
you want me to do it?
things,
But Doug,
Hoopla!
I was told in my press release that it was May 13th. 19.
No, you didn't get that press release because I
No, the one I got this last week.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Well, if you got
Not-
the press, if
That's
you
the press release in
if you-
92.
if you had gotten the press release back in 1992, it would have been a little different.
We're about 12 years too late.
Right,
Sorry.
right. Well, first of all, bear in mind we were all dying to know what the show was going to be. They spent 2 years teasing us about it. They started out with imagination. I won't go into a lot of this because it's in the blog post. Read the blog. And but they spent 2 years, and originally it was Imagination, which is the most unimaginative title you can imagine. And I am told that they actually came up with Fantasmic like within less than 2 months of the
That's what
opening.
I've heard also.
Yeah, and it's based on the word phantasmagoria, and that's where they got Fantasmic.
Of course.
Not Mick for Mickey Mouse. We're actually
I've never heard that one.
No, that was around there for a while.
Huh.
And we were all dying to know, what is it? Is it and I really thought it was going to be kind of a show where barges would come up and people would perform on the barges, and then the barges would go
So
up,
kind of
there
the
were
princess unit.
right. There were a lot of
The whole show.
pictures of barges
Yeah.
and things, and then they talked about projections, and we'd seen some kinds of projections outdoors before. But part of it was, well, what are screens going to come up, or screens going to roll down?
So were you thinking kind of like Fantasy Waters at that point, or?
I had not actually seen the Fantasy Waters over at the Disneyland Hotel because they were really off and on by then.
Okay.
But it was sort of those kind of things. So we did know this much: it was going to happen sometime in April because it was announced for April of 1992. I did have, and there it is, my annual pass, my high-tech annual pass.
I love that
And
so
so
much.
I started coming in
I have a phone.
every night. Sorry.
We don't get physical
night
passes anymore.
to see if they were going to. Well, the big hope was, will they do a sneak preview, a soft
Oh,
opening?
totally.
And what we didn't know is they did one for the cast, and the cast was very good in those days because nothing leaked out. Of course, there was no internet to leak it out to. And then somehow I managed to miss Wednesday, May 13th. Now, I've also read some people who say, oh, it was originally supposed to open to the media on April 29th of that year. And it did not, because that was the night of the start of the 5 days of rioting and civil unrest following the Rodney King verdict.
Okay.
But there's a big problem with that, and that is, if Disneyland had announced April 29th as the media day, the media would have already been at Disneyland. No one knew when the verdict was going to be announced.
Oh, yes.
The jury
that
was
would
ready.
Make sense. Yeah.
And also, it was a full media day, and it just so happens that I have here, and I'll just hit the high points quickly.
Please.
This is what the media was doing on May 13th, 1992, Wednesday. I was not there that day. I came in that evening. And then we were all kicked out of the park at 6 o'clock.
That sounds about right.
Right. And by that time, the media were all hidden away. But at 9:15 in the morning, they were in front of the train station to meet Max, because they were promoting a brand new show called Goof Troop. And they brought out Goofy and his son, Max.
I was like, Max Goof or Max the dog?
Max,
that's
Goofy's
actually a good point.
son.
Yes.
Goofy's son. Max is another franchise. Max was in, and they were promoting Goof Troop. They then all trooped over to the Main Street Opera House, where they had Gary Kreisel, who was the head of TV animation, Bill Farmer. I shouldn't have to tell you who that is. He's the voice of Goofy. Dana Hill, the voice of Max, at the Opera House. And they not only promoted Goof Troop, but also a company-wide initiative campaign called Get Goofy.
Oh,
So
man.
that was Get Goofy. Then at 10:30, they had them over in front of Pirates of the Caribbean for an official 25th anniversary rededication ceremony.
That's
Think
cool.
about it. With Mark Davis and Exitencio in attendance. How
Wow.
cool would that have been?
No kidding.
Wow.
Then at 11 o'clock, they were up in the Disney Gallery to tour the new display of Mark Davis's Pirates of the Caribbean art. I do remember that exhibit
The
because
Disney
they did leave it up there.
Gallery.
Yes, the beautiful Disney
It was there
Gallery.
for a long time, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
they kept, and then they, yeah.
That exhibit,
Right.
though, I vaguely remember.
Yeah. And then at noon, they were over at Videopolis, not yet the Fantasyland Theater, Videopolis, to see Beauty and the Beast. But first, Jesse Corti, Robbie Benson, and
Oh,
Paige
that's cool.
O'Hara were there to put their handprints in cement. And we still don't know why. Because
Where did they go?
Hollywood Studios.
Exactly. Where did they go? What happened to them? Where are they today? But they did.
We're building a
And-
new park for them. Wait,
Right.
that's a different one.
And then they got to see Beauty and the Beast, and then afterwards there was a Q&A session with the
Okay,
voice cast.
That's cool.
Then they took a break. So from noon to 6, the park was still open to the public, but the media were all probably filing stories
Yeah.
and doing whatever they do. At 6 o'clock, they closed the park. That week, they had moved the closing hours up to 9 o'clock the week before. And of course, that was the week that the rioting and things were going on.
Yeah.
But I was there every night at Disneyland, except when I was previously engaged. But in hopes, once again. And the most maddening part was you would be there and you would see all of these cast members in these yellow and black uniforms,
Oh, man.
which were immediately nicknamed the Killer Bees. Yeah, the Killer Bees
I miss those
would be-
costumes.
would be setting things out, and you could see on the island. It's like, what are
Mhm.
they doing? Oh, they're clearing away all of the stanchion, all of the rails and handrails are coming off. What is that? What is that? And of course, the other thing, if you read my blog, you'll also know my camera had been stolen in New York City, so I have no photographs of that time period. But it's something a little better. Anyway, so at 6 o'clock, it was a hard get out of the park. You're gone. So at 7:30, the media were lured back with a cocktail reception
Of course.
in New Orleans Square. And at 8:30, they had the dreadication
Ooh.
Mhm.
of Fantasmic. Michael Eisner came out and made some really awkward comments about how Disney is always creating new entertainment experiences.
That sounds like Michael Eisner.
Yeah, and then Maleficent came in to interrupt him and to liven up the
Of course.
things. And then at 8:40 was the world premiere of Fantasmic. Now, it was presented for the media and invited guests
Sure.
only, but it was on May 13th. Then at 9:10, they took them over to Small World Mall, where they had a lavish party
Okay.
that
of
ran
course.
until midnight. They had dancers in fancy dress, they had stilt
Yeah.
walkers, they had entertainers, and they had open bars and food and games, and they kept everything running until midnight, and apparently some people even stayed longer. Can you imagine? And I hope
Never.
that Main Street was open for your shopping and enjoyment. Oh, and then at the end of Main Street, as you walked out, I found this out. You can find a video online, a marvelous video where someone describes the whole thing and shows his photos from the night.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
As you walk down to the end of Main Street, in front of the Main Street was a giant inflatable Sorcerer Mickey
Oh, very
with
cool.
characters all around bidding you good night.
Very cute.
So that was on May 13th.
That's awesome.
But not that any of us knew that. None of the public knew that. And on May 14th, I was back again because I had,
Why not?
Yes.
Didn't need reservations, huh?
But we knew by May 15th, it's got to happen because there were all these press accounts that suddenly appeared. The reason these press accounts appeared, now, I was not in the media, but I literally just within the last month acquired this item for my collection. And this is the actual press kit that was given to the media. And an interesting thing about this, you can see right here on the front of it, it says, "Be there when the night ignites." This was a kind of an unfortunate thing in
Because
terms
how are
of
they going to
history.
know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
How would they have known that
Yeah.
the week before, large portions of Los Angeles would be burned down and nightly we would be watching fire? One thing they did do is they pulled their advertising campaign. And again, you can go online, look up Disneyland Fantasmic 1992 TV ad, and it's flames filling the screen and then coming down to show you this, and flames showing you this. Be there when the night ignites. They pulled those ads, but these materials had already been produced. This is a really beautiful press kit. I want you to see that you
And
would
it's an
first
amazing
open
condition.
this gatefold, and then you would open this gatefold. Whoops, this gatefold, and there is the huge spread. And then inside are all of these press materials, including a black and white of the thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
And right here
Oh, there's
on this one, it says, this one right here, it says, a new kind of magic arrives at Disneyland in April 1992.
Oh, interesting.
Wow.
So they were anticipating it would come out
that
in
was the
April.
plan.
And then here,
Which is a weird time to debut a show.
right, and then here on this one, it says Fantasmic Experience. Let me show you. See, can you read that? Just
Sure, I'm
use
sure
your
they
fingers
can.
and do this. Have you ever found yourself reading a book and you wanted to see the picture a little closer and you
You
started doing like this on it and then realized, oh, it's a book. It says this unique extravaganza will premiere at Disneyland May 15,
It's in writing.
1992.
Uh-oh.
It's in
Right there,
writing.
May 15, 1992. So it's, it's going to be the July 17, July 18 argument, which is the actual opening date of Disneyland. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because the point is it opened.
Well, and same with World of Color. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And it was amazing. It was incredible. And I did not get a single photograph of it that first summer because I did finally get my camera later. But I was very fortunate. And now you're going to get a sneak preview here of next month's blog. Or is it this month's blog? No, next month.
Next month.
Next
We're still
month.
in
Next
May.
month's blog. We're still in May. My blog actually came out
We were early this month.
in the month. I wanted it to be on the date it debuted,
We did
but
it.
as
Oh, well,
it is, well, the May 15th debut.
yes, I'm counting it. Yeah.
I do have this. I purchased this in the summer of 1992, and this is a beautiful brochure. You can actually see here.
It's gorgeous.
Multiple pages. There you go. And when was the last time? I think this is probably the last time that they marketed a full glossy, marketable, purchasable brochure for a single attraction. In fact, this one still has the Disneyland price tag on the back. It was $5.95.
I'm gonna look up how much that is.
And
now.
I've never been able to find one online.
Oh no! Like how much?
Oh,
$5.95.
it was $5.95 today. This one has this beautiful gatefold, trifold cover, and then
I
on
love
the
that.
inside, it has this large graphic. The opening section is this will all be available in next month's blog. That is the images that will work well. The first section is about how it was developed and how it was built, and then they go through it section by section with some marvelous pictures on the making of, and some of these images
That's
you'll
super
put
cool.
up on the blog.
Yeah.
And
How much is it?
$12.26 today.
That's actually kind of
so,
a good deal.
But it would never-
around,
it
right
would
around
never
the price
sell
point on it.
Yeah,
for
that's what I was
$12.
There's 24 pages, and it's full color all the way throughout. So this charming little booklet was marketed at the
beautiful.
parks, and it is really. Oh, and this is what they call the hero image. This image of Mickey shooting the laser bolt up at the dragon. By the way, that is not the dragon that actually appeared in the production. And
It is kind of funny that's
More
very
like-
similar
more like
to
the
what
new one,
we
yeah.
have now.
Yeah.
that came in 2017. Back when you were
Back-
when she was in
Back when I was learning to
middle
walk.
school, right? Learning to walk. This image
Didn't
was
the dragon
actually
come a couple years before that?
Hmm?
Wasn't the new dragon a couple
Before
years
Fan
before that?
2.0.
wasn't
it 2012?
It might have been.
I only know this because we made a parody of it when it first didn't work, and it's one of the favorite videos
I
we've
know
ever
why it
made.
didn't work.
I do too.
Okay.
I'm not
Okay,
going to talk
so
about it here.
anyway, this image was actually created by stitching together several different elements, and it was marketed and used over and over and over again in things.
Well, the amazing thing is you think that was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
That's not with Photoshop.
No, that was done in
That's
the
like-
in the
That's-
studio
Yeah,
with cameras and film negative
that's
and
amazing.
those kind of things. They created this beautiful image. It's in black and white in the press book. And I think one reason also that they released this just for that summer is because, do you remember they used to do the Disneyland souvenir pictorial guides?
I wish they
and-
still did.
Oh, I love these, and I have them going all the way back to 1956.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
And this one that was out that summer did not have Fantasmic in it, obviously. So I believe that they marketed this booklet
As a
for
supplement.
people who wanted to take home a souvenir with memories.
Totally.
Now, the next year, they did have, under the section of Disneyland After Dark, this big Fantasmic 2-page spread. And then the next page, of course, goes into all the other nighttime offerings.
Yeah.
Such as,
of course, there it is. Okay,
Wow.
so we get
Well,
to see it here.
the Main Street Electrical
And
Parade.
then-
It's gonna go away, guys.
Yeah, forever.
In 1996, in just 4 years, it'll go away forever.
Forever, yes. And then the last one, as far as I know, this is the last one.
I believe you. Yeah.
And this was the year that they also opened California Adventure.
Disney's.
And Disney's. Yes, they could afford an apostrophe and an S back then.
Amazing.
And they did have a section on, they moved Fantasmic to the Frontierland section of this, and they cropped the photo down, and they did something else interesting with it. Let's see in the comments if anyone, who can be the first to tell us what is wrong with this image.
And while you look at this image, start throwing any questions you have about opening year
Welcome
or
to Geeks
Fantasmic
Corner Plus.
in general, because we're now in Geeks Corner Plus, which means
right.
we're going to be paying extra special attention to the comments. Bailey says the booklet is cute. No one mourns the summers where Murphy the dragon didn't work.
It's true. You know my cat's name is Murphy?
Clocky does have several of. Which one do you have, Clocky?
Has several what?
He says he has one of those or many. I'm betting it's this booklet.
Oh,
This
the
booklet,
booklets.
But I'd be curious
But
if
so
he
far,
has
has
the
anyone
Fantasmic
said
one.
what is wrong with this image other than they cropped it down heavily?
There we go.
Hey,
Clocky.
Clocky.
Dragon's on the wrong side.
It's backwards.
Yep.
That is known in the industry as flopping an image. And I don't know why they flopped it. So I will race through these very quickly. They also, of course, released, can you imagine a button? I'm wearing the big one that says, be there when the night ignites. Which,
so were these released after the show or before the show?
you know,
was
some of these
premiered?
might even be from later
Years.
during the show's
Okay.
run.
Sure.
And I can't be sure, but this one right here, I believe, is probably from a very early iteration of the show. And we'll have these up.
We'll put photos
that,
in,
yeah.
in the blog post.
And
of this.
this is a particularly lovely one. It's Fantasmic with Maleficent, and it is dated 1992 Disneyland. This one of Chernobog, back in the day when you pushed the button and took the little guide off thing, his eyes lit up. And then this is a lot of fun. This is the Fantasmic Disneyland button. And then for the 5th anniversary of Fantasmic, they released the same button, only with the dates for the 5th anniversary. And just to bring this to a conclusion.
Full circle.
And full circle, it says right here, May 15, 1992 to May 15, 1997. So May 15, the 30th anniversary of
And there you
Fantasmic.
go.
There you go.
Totally right. All right. Now that we're in Geeks Corner Plus, we did tease that we were going to have a surprise. And so, Doug, we have been on a quest.
Okay.
As you might be
It's
able
been
to
going
see.
for a while. You can see this quest developing on the bus.
Elliot's just part of it.
Elliot's just along for the ride. But we are searching for the entire Muppet collection of Wishables. And so we have 3 new Wishables tonight that we're going to add to this collection
So,
here.
and here's how this has gone down. This
Okay.
is one of the first ones we opened. It turns out this was the chaser,
In fact, it was one of the first 2.
the rare ones.
Yep.
So we first opened Sam and Piggy.
See, I'm looking at them from the back and I'm saying, is this Sam?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because of the hat.
So
Yeah.
yes, this is Sam. So the first time we ever opened it, we opened a Sam and Piggy. The next time we opened a Sam and Piggy.
Mhm.
The next time after that, we opened. Why do we have 3 piggies? Oh no, and then we opened another Sam and Piggy.
Mhm.
And then last time we opened 2 Gonzos, and that's this Gonzo
So-
right here. So we're just trying to get Fozzie. That's it.
Okay.
So tonight we're going to add 3 more Wishables to our
So
collection.
all 3 of
Okay.
us are gonna open.
You get to
one.
open one.
oh boy.
Katie gets to
This
open
isn't
one.
scary at all.
No, and
It's
if you don't get
stressful.
Fuzzy, then we're gonna cry. But I think Katie should go
That's
first because she's the lady,
No.
and then Doug will go second because he's our guest.
I'm
Let's
scared.
see
see if
what
you
you
made
got.
this noise, our cats would come running.
Same.
Oh, because they're
My-
hungry.
It's like,
My
no,
cat-
it's what the treat bag sounds
I
like.
I think-
sounds about. Do we have a winner?
Oh my word!
We did it! We did it!
Well, then, do you still want Doug and I to open
Yes!
ours? Oh, okay.
Yes!
Well, we're gonna be so
All right, Doug, let's
anticlimactic.
We did it! What if it's more Fozzies? What if
That
it's
would be
just
really
more
funny.
Fozzies?
Is it?
Is it just more Fozzies?
I will admit, look at how cute
And
it is.
look, Fozzie's just come from the men's room. And trailing.
Came from the woods?
All right. So
Yes.
so what do we think? Is it going to be 3?
No,
Oh
I
my
think it'll
goodness.
be.
Wait, yeah.
And
who do
then,
you think
and
it'll
then
be?
I'll bet you I'm the only person here who could sing the song Triplets. 3 little unexpected bundles simultaneously. The doctor brought us. Anyway, go ahead.
I think it'll be another Gonzo.
Gonzo?
The green lady from Shrek.
Okay. There we go. Nope. As it should be. Another Sam.
Gonzo.
All right. So,
So
you want to.
that means we're special and
Yes.
you're not.
I know.
We did it!
We have finally
Yay.
succeeded in
But
Geeks Corner Plus.
here,
for
I'm
the
going to do
win.
something here real quick. I'm just going to make a little mark right here, so you will always know
That was the one.
this is the Gonzo,
That
and this is just a mere shadow.
the Fozzie. Yes.
This is variant Gonzo right here. This is
That
variant Gonzo.
We did it!
That is funny. Yes.
Guys! Wow.
Yay.
That's a very high note to end the show on. Katie, what should people do?
You should go to dapsmagic.com. Check out all the Disney and geek news as it happens. While you're there, go to geekscorner.live and check out our blog posts, including stuff about the year we graduated from high school, which is yesterday for some of us.
And we will soon have Doug's year up with all the details.
He's the one that
too.
graduated yesterday.
Also, make sure to check out 30 years ago at Disneyland, Doug's blog on DAPS Magic. And we've got a bunch of them now. What's it been, a year and a couple months?
Oh,
year
it's
and a half?
we're well into year 3
We're into year
because we did all of 1990.
3. You're right.
We did all of 91,
You're
and we're
right.
now 5 months into 92.
That is absolutely
so
correct. Time has
we're way
flown.
in there, and there's only 1 year that I combined months because it was such a big subject.
That's
So
right. Very cool.
Everyone, there's 12 of them because 12.
That's So make sure to check that out and check all the other ones out, and make sure to come back and check out next month because Fantasmic will be very interesting. Also, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. I don't know why you haven't and you're still watching, but now's a good time. We got a ton of Star Wars Celebration content going up, hopefully next week if we are on the ball.
I just entered the lottery for panels.
We'll
We're
have
about to find out.
Fantasmic stuff. We'll have a bunch of other summer things and the college band coming up very soon as well. But
They make you do lotteries for panels.
yes,
What is this, the Hunger Games?
yes, it is.
The odds be ever in your favor.
Exactly. But that is all the time we have for you this week. So we will see you around the corner.
Bye.